All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. Yesterday, I brought up Bob Dylan's song Murder Most Foul, which came out in 2020. And again, if you forgot about that song, it's about the assassination of JFK. And that came out just before Joe Biden won the rigged selection, as we said he would. And as we've talked about, there's many parallels between JFK, who died in office, and Joe Biden, who's now the 46th president of the United States. Of course, JFK was the only Catholic president before Biden, and he was assassinated at age 46, at least so we're told. So I said on the day that Biden became president that I expected him to leave office at age 81 because he supposedly got 81 million votes. And in Gematria, President Biden equals 81, which is what we call the ritual number. You might recall when his old bunk buddy Obama endorsed 81 candidates on August 1st, 8-1. If you're new here in Gematria, the word ritual equals 81 forwards and backwards. Well, somebody saw my work yesterday and they said, well, because I mentioned in the work, he could possibly go before age 81, but I still like that. Somebody did a little bit more thinking yesterday and said, well, what if he left office exactly 81 weeks into becoming president? And so I had to look at this myself, and then my eyeballs popped out when I noticed something. So we're going to go back and watch what Gerald Ford said at the Herbert Hoover Library about how we'll get the first female president. He predicted that the first female president would be a vice president. She'd become president because the old man who was the president would die, making her president. And he did that at the Herbert Hoover Library. And guess what? Exactly 81 weeks into Biden's presidency will be Herbert Hoover's birthday. And of course, Herbert Hoover died on the exact same day that Kamala Harris was born. So we're going to go back and watch what Gerald Ford said, and then we're going to go over this even more because there's quite a few things that are interesting about the date August 10th, which in the U.S. we write 8/10, so it's got that 81 sequence in again. But again, that will be the date that's 81 weeks into Biden's presidency. That will be the anniversary of Herbert Hoover's birthday. And let's just go back and watch this clip. This is from decades ago. Gerald Ford, who replaced Richard Nixon. Let's listen to what he said.
On October 18, 1989, in West Branch, Iowa, Gerald Ford, the 38th President of the United States, shared history with students from across Iowa. The visit was part of a conference on the role of former presidents in American society, sponsored by the Herbert Hoover Library and Museum and the Gerald Ford Library and Museum. Here's how these students took advantage of a rare learning opportunity.
Thank you very, very much. It's a very high honor and a very great privilege for me to come to West Branch and to participate in this conference, which is being held here at the Hoover facilities.
Mr. Ford, what advice would you give a young lady wanting to become President of the United States?
Well, I hope we do have a young lady at some point become President of the United States. I can tell you how I think it will happen, because it won't happen in the normal course of events. Either the Republican or Democrat political party will nominate a man for president and a woman for vice president. And the woman and man will win. So you'll end up with a president, a male, and a vice president, a female. And in that term of office of the president will die. And the woman will become president under the law or Constitution. And once that barrier is broken, from then on, men better be careful, because they'll have a hard time ever even getting a nomination in the future. But that's the way it's going to happen, and I think it'll probably come sometime in the next 4 or 8 years.
Okay, so what a response there from Gerald Ford, who was installed by the numbers after Nixon's resignation by the numbers. August 9th, 74, he resigned, that infamous August 9th Jesuit date. And notice 89, Gerald Ford also said that in 89. But again, let's go through this. Biden supposedly got 81 million votes. And take it from me, I'm up here in the liberal Northwest. I've never seen a presidential election in my lifetime where there wasn't Democrat bumper stickers, yard signs everywhere. I have not seen a single Joe Biden yard sign or bumper sticker, not one. So for this man to get the most votes ever, highly unlikely. But anyway, 81 million in Gematria President Biden's 81. Again, if you're new here, Gematria is based on the alphabetic order, forwards and backwards with the rules of numerology. It's a system. It's not, as so many people just jump to the immediate conclusion, oh, you're just manipulating things. You could probably make anything equal anything you wanted to. No, false. Completely false. It's not arbitrary that they said 81 million votes and President Biden's 81. If you run it the other way, President Biden's 72. It's not arbitrary that when he became senator-elect, and right after that, his wife and daughter died in 72. And it's also not arbitrary that when you just use the alphabetic order, President Biden equals 144 like Jesuit order. And again, Jesuit Georgetown simulated that Biden would win the election on June 12th, 144 days before the election. None of this is coincidental. Anyway, it's the system. When you run the alphabetic order forwards and backwards, Rituals 81. Again, Obama endorsed 81 candidates on August 1st, 2018, 8-1. That was the day Urban Meyer got in big trouble while he was on 81 wins with Ohio State. And there was like 500 other 81 things in the headlines that day, as there always is on August 1st. Because if you pay attention, every year news is by the numbers. Every year, every single day. But notice, from the day that he took office, January 20th, 2021, to August 10th, 2022, will be 81 weeks. And, you know, this isn't a guarantee that he's going to leave office on this day. I initially thought it'd be age 81, but now that I recognize that that's Herbert Hoover's birthday, and he said that at the Herbert Hoover Library, I'm going, this could definitely work out this way, you know. The Biden shtick does seem to be about up. I mean, how much more can you take of this guy? But anyway, here's what else is amazing about this. August 10th, 2022, which will be, again, 81 weeks into the presidency, it will be 263 days after Biden's 79th birthday. And we just talked about this with the Bob Dylan song, Murder Most Foul, in tribute to JFK. 263 is the 56th prime number. Society of Jesus equals 56 forward, 79 in reverse. That's who runs the show. The Jesuits run DC. They run your media. These are big numbers with them. Anthony Fauci, who's Jesuit educated, his name equals 56, like coronavirus, like COVID vaccine. The pandemic was declared on his 79th day of being 79 years old. Also, with regards to 263, from Joe Biden's birthday to the day Kamala Harris was born, that's exactly 263 months on the nose, which again is the 56th prime. Washington, D.C.'s 56. Kamala took the White House at age 56. A lot of parallels with her and Barack Obama. Obama, who won the 56th presidential election. Let's not forget Black Lives Matter equals 56. Let's not forget we just got the first black female Supreme Court justice who was nominated on the 56th day of the year. Okay. So again, Biden and JFK. JFK died in office at age 46. Biden's number 46, elected 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday, after his son Beau Biden died at age 46, whose funeral was conducted by the same Jesuit priest who did the inauguration. But Catholic and sacrifice are 46. 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament. 46, a number heavily connected to death. If number 46 dies in office, the funny thing about that will be that he'll be the 9th president to die in office, and while he is number 46, he's the 41st person to be president, because Grover Cleveland had the split term. 45 is the 9th triangular number. And Gerald Ford, who said that a man will die in office and then be replaced by a woman, he was number 38, where death is 38, and DC's on the 38th parallel, and it's the nation's war capital that declares death and destruction on all sorts of nations over all sorts of bullshit reasons by the numbers. But anyway, from him being number 38 to which would make Kamala 47 is 9 presidents later. And Biden, again, could be the 9th to die in office. We're talking so much about the number 81. What's the square root of 81? 9. When you add 1 through 9 together, 45. 45, the 9th triangular number. Biden, the 45th person to be president, again, despite being number 46. And also, August 10th, 2022 will be exactly 42 weeks after Kamala's birthday. Of course, that's the number stamped all over Black history. Freemason and Jesuit equal 42. That's the alliance that runs DC by the numbers. Female, lady, and bitch all equal 42. Biden born in 42. And remember what happened last year on November 19th, 2021. Biden was getting a colonoscopy. And here, let me just pull this up. Kamala had the powers of the presidency transferred to her. And again, that was November 19th, the day leaving 42 days left in the year. It was 30 days after her own birthday. Female has the gematria 42 and 30. So do words like Tuskegee, slavery, the N-word. It's also a number stamped all over Black history. It's interesting how both Black and female have those connections to those numbers. And you think about the history of the nation, you know, Black people had to fight for their rights to participate in democracy, which we don't really have. Same with women. And by the way, colonoscopy equals 152 like female president, like Joe Biden, like Pennsylvania. Again, it was a colonoscopy that led to this ritual. And don't forget, President's Day fell on 15/2 in 2021, the first year of this ticket. And by the way, I should have wrote it out there. It looks like I forgot to write it out. Kamala Devi Harris, her full name is also 152. But President's Day fell on 15/2, the 46th day of the year with number 46. Remember, they had to have the, what's that band called? Like the New Radicals or whatever perform, and New Radicals is 46. And again, like I told you, the New Radicals fit in with the Green New Deal and what would happen with energy costs and to curb consumerism. Again, all the stuff that we said would happen, it's happening because it was all foretold. And when you know the numbers, you see right through the rituals. But again, Herbert Hoover, Gerald Ford made that prediction at his library, born on August 10th. So how fitting if they do this. That date can also be written 10/8 like 108. Don't forget Dealey Plaza equals 108 where JFK was killed. Geometry equals 108. Gematria, geometry and language, rituals and numbers, paying tribute to history. The synchronicities, right? And again, Herbert Hoover died on October 20th, 1964, which is the day that Kamala was born. October 20th, 64. And you got to think, I mean, Gerald Ford giving that response to that little girl, it's so ridiculous. A little girl asks when we'll get the first female president. He's like, well, listen, we're never going to vote one in. She's going to have to be the vice president, and the man's going to have to die, and it'll happen just like that. It's just like, what in the hell kind of answer is this? I mean, it's a really fucked up answer when you think about it. And again, it's proof that it's all a script. Nixon's resignation from his birthday to the resignation was the number of days that corresponds with Gerald Ford's name. And again, Gerald Ford became president on the day Nixon resigned, which was the day leaving 144 days left in the year when Jesuit orders 144, and now President Biden's 144. And again, just like I was saying, it was simulated where Biden would win 144 days before the election. But again, from Joe's birthday to Kamala's, exactly 263 months, which is the 56th prime. If he does leave on August 10th, it will be exactly 263 days after his birthday. And then again, Bob Dylan with Murder Most Foul, which came out on March 26th, 26/3. That day can also be written 3/26, and JFK was killed on the 326th day of the year. That's the day leaving 39 days left in the year. Remember, JFK's son died just before him. They said at his 39th hour of life is when JFK's son died, the 39th hour of life. And then JFK dies on the day leaving 39 days left in the year. By the way, federal also equals 39, like masonry, like secrecy. Killed in Dealey Plaza, where the first Masonic temple was in D.C. Dealey was a Mason. Again, when you run it the other way, it's forwards and backwards. Masonry, secrecy, order, federal. They're all 33 like Kennedy. You know, let's not forget. But Bob Dylan, Murder Most Foul, 79. Murder 79. Again, this if Biden dies, I mean, there are other ways he could leave office, but Gerald Ford said the president would die. If he died, it would happen at age 79. And, I mean, you know, Could they end up doing it with COVID? Could, like, the president catch COVID and die right before the fall comes, and then Anthony Fauci's back on the TV saying, I told you it was going to be a really bad outbreak this year, as the pandemic was once declared on his 79th day, being 79 years old? I mean, it's a possibility. But Murder Most Foul, 79, like murder. Society of Jesus, 56 Ford, 79 in verse. Going to be 263 days after Biden's 79th birthday, which is the 56th prime. JFK killed in a Lincoln. Lincoln and Kennedy, with all the parallels between their assassinations. The Jesuits involved in both. Lincoln and Dylan, 79. Again, the song's 17 minutes long. Dylan's song, Murder Most Foul, where 59's the 17th prime. Biden just won the 59th presidential election. John F. Kennedy, 59. Pope Francis, 59. And again, this song just came out 59 days before Bob Dylan's birthday on the 144th day of the year, May 24th. August 9th leaves 144 days. May 24th is the 144th day of the year. It was also 8 weeks and 3 days. Murders 79 forwards, 83 in reverse. It came out on Bob Dylan's 307th day of his age, the 63rd prime, like JFK killed in 63. Murder Most Foul, 178 again. JFK killed on his 178th day of his age. And again, they had to reference 33. Dylan seen the Zapruder film 33 times in the song. Kennedy, Federal, Mason, Secrecy Order. It's all 33. Again, I went over a lot of this yesterday, talking about how the Johnny Depp thing is also a tribute to this and might be a tribute to the premature demise of Biden. And because I said that yesterday, the person looked into if Biden could die this year and what day would make sense. So my thoughts yesterday from my video led to them thinking about, well, maybe he dies 81 weeks into his presidency, and that might be right. Whether he's removed from office or die, I mean, number of ways it could happen, but this could be the plot. But again, the 313th slide of the Zapruder film, where JFK dies, 65th prime number. By the way, this year the bracket came out on 313 for March Madness. 313 is the 65th prime. Kansas equals 65. They won the championship 65 days after the state's birthday, getting their 34th win of the season as the 34th state. The last state before the Civil War, which is a big theme right now with all the Capitol insurrection crap, which is also put on by the same Jesuit cabal. But anyway, Murder Most Foul is just like Knights Templar. Again, the Templar cross is in the Jesuit logo. It's all Catholic. And yeah, there's even more to say here. Johnson's sworn in at 38 minutes after the hour. Walter Cronkite said some 38 minutes ago the president was killed. Death is 38. Again, the 38th president, Ford with his prediction. But the song was released about 56 years after JFK's death, Murder Most Foul. And again, on 26/3, Bob Dylan chosen. It's not hard to see why they did it the way they did it. But yeah, let's put this out there too. Again, we're covering our spaces on the roulette wheel. You know, very likely Joe Biden does not finish his term. August 10th, 2022 very well could be the date. It wouldn't, I mean, it would absolutely be perfect, honestly, in light of the predictive programming we had from Gerald Ford. So I think I hit all the points that I needed to make. Here's one more. What else is interesting is if this does happen, if Kamala becomes number 47, and let's not forget in House of Cards, then we had Trump, the Trump card from Tarot, win the presidency after House of Cards came out, and then both him and Kevin Spacey plays the president in House of Cards. They're both going through sex-related scandals. A lot of parallels with House of Cards and what happened with Trump. And even before Trump, a lot of predictive programming in House of Cards that ended up being the news. But in that show, you get the first female president, and she's the 47th president of the United States, just like Kamala would become the first female and the 47th. And also, Veep, with the woman from Seinfeld, she becomes the 47th president of the United States. And Rambo gave us another show where a woman becomes the first president, the 47th, and I forget what that other show is. But it could play out exactly that way. The first female president's the 47th. And what's so interesting about that is, again, in Gematria, president, White House, government, authority, Republican, Democrat, in the base ciphers, they all equal 47. Even the letters DC, when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, are 47. course, Trump equals 47. He was saying, I've done more in 47 months than Biden's done in 47 years. And Biden was the 47th vice president, took office with Obama, who took office at age 47. The parallels with Kamala and Obama, both one-term senators that took the Oval Office after that. And, I was going to say, if Kamala does become number 47 on August 10th, 2022, that would have been Herbert Hoover's 148th birthday. Remember, that's a big number with Trump. His author name, as he writes it on his books, is Donald J. Trump, which equals 148. His best-selling book of all time is The Art of the Deal, which is 148. So that would happen on the 148th birthday, and it would set up the next election of Kamala versus Trump. And if Trump did win the next presidential election, again, remember, he would become number 48. He'd have a split term like Grover Cleveland. The next election's the 60th presidential election. Donald Trump could become number 48 in the 60th election. And don't forget where he had his first GOP convention in 2016, the year he won. It was in Cleveland. The only president to have a split term, Grover Cleveland. There's an article out there about the parallels between Grover Cleveland and Donald Trump. Everything from their obesity to their mail order brides. And, again, we're living out a script that pays tribute to history. Just like how we said Biden would become president paying tribute to Kennedy. History can continue to repeat itself. And don't forget, when Trump first announced he was running and had his first GOP debate in 2015, I predicted that day that Trump would be the next president. As things got ridiculous with Trump, I changed my mind and said, it looks like it's going to be Hillary. Shouldn't have changed my mind, but we did see from the very beginning the number rituals that it looked like Trump was to be the 45th president. And they called him his 45th president-elect on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall, which in the Most Pure cipher is 45. And when you run it in reverse, it's 63, where 2016 is the 63rd triangular number. And again, he was called president-elect in 2016 on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall, November 9th. And don't forget his commercial for Serta mattresses, where he's wearing the same suit and tie he wore on selection night, talking to sheep, digital sheep with the numbers 11 and 9 on them. And the presidency was called for him on 11-9. And you can see Serta has the 63 in it as well. 2016, the 63rd triangular number. It's also got the 72 like Jesuit order, like President Trump 72, like President Biden 72. And by the way, I am noticing that both of them are 72 and 81. How about that? So, anyway. Yeah, great observation on August 10th possibly being the day. So they had a simple post on it, with his 81 million votes and 81 weeks into his presidency. But then I looked at it and I was like, well, let's see if there's more. And right away I was like, wait a minute. First thing I looked at was I was like, okay, we know that Herbert Hoover died on Kamala's. I couldn't believe it when I opened it up and said, oh my God, that's his birthday, August 10th. So, and I did forget to say one more thing about, it's written down somewhere here. There it is. August 10th is the 222nd day of the year. Look how perfect this would be. August 10th, the 222nd day of the year. And President Harris, 222. So, it very well could be. It very well could be. And, again, for the person out there who might come across this video for the first time, understand, we don't need to be right about any more predictions. We've already predicted enough, showing how rigged and scripted it all is. At this point, it's just all extra icing on the cake. And again, you pay attention, you'll see that day after day, everything about these people is a rigged joke. You just had Obama at the White House 121 days before his birthday to talk about the Affordable Care Act, 121. You just had the Emmett Till bill signed. Yeah, absolutely what we needed, right? We needed an Emmett Till anti-lynching bill. But Emmett Till 129, when Emmett Till was supposedly killed, which is probably another bullshit story from history because that's pretty much all that's in the news, Biden was 12 years and 9 months old. And when the Emmett Till bill was signed by Joe Biden, it was 129 days after his birthday in a span of 129 days from Obama's upcoming birthday. And remember, their attorney general was Loretta Lynch. Lynch equals 62. That was done on 29/3, where 293 is the 62nd prime, and where Lynch is 62. Anti-lynching is also 62. Anti-lynching bill named after Emmett Till on the 62 day to 129 days. And again, this stuff just goes on all the time. One of the best examples from this year, bridge collapse on January 28th, 128. Fern Hollow is 128. It was the Fern Hollow Bridge that collapsed on January 28th, 12 months and 8 days after Biden took presidency, while he was in Pittsburgh, where it happened, to promote infrastructure. And I predicted 45 days before that, where bridge is 45. And there's a reason I predicted it 45 days before. But 45 days before that, I predicted that you would see bridge collapses to promote Biden's infrastructure bill. And it's because what the Golden State Warriors did that day, understanding how sports and news and politics are all synced together. And of course, the Warriors have the bridge on their uniform that's built from the steel from Pittsburgh. And they used to be in Philadelphia, the Warriors. And let's also not forget that that bridge collapsed right next to where the Tree of Life synagogue shooting happened, and it happened 128 weeks after the shooting. And the gematria of the shooting ritual also equals 128. So, and let's not forget that they simulated a shooting at that synagogue right before it happened. So, again, you learn gematria, you see through how rigged the presidency is, the politics, the news, the sports, it's all rigged and scripted together. God, now that I say it, isn't Golden State Warriors 81? Oh, I'm tripping. It's 90. Okay, I was wrong about that one. But anyway, the point is, all synced up, all ritual, all scripted, all by the numbers, undeniable. You can prove it every single day. How about yesterday? Twitter was the news on the 115th day of the year. Oh my God, Elon Musk buys Twitter for $54 a share and makes the offer on April 14th. Jesuit order 144.54. You know what I mean? So, and how many times I got to tell you he's a Jesuit puppet? Tesla died in 43. Elon Musk equals 43. He closes the deal exactly 43 weeks after his birthday. And just last year, he became the richest man in the world on the 78-year anniversary of the death of Tesla. Jesuit 78, Tesla 78. Joe Biden took office at age 78. I saw something about Joe Biden pardoned 78 people today. Another 78. But don't forget, the insurrection was 78 weeks after Kamala's birthday, while Joe Biden was 78. And again, that fits in with the Jesuit motto, order out of chaos. And anyway, you can go on all day with the Jesuit rituals, but yeah, again, learn the code, see through history, be ahead of the curve as we often are. You know, we said why the major New World Order push was going to come in 2020, many years in advance, dead on about that. We've called a million things to date. And very soon, the Queen might kick the bucket on the exact day we said she would. And we might see Joe Biden leave office as soon as August 10th, 2022 as well. It really would fit everything they've laid down in history. And these people are laying clues. And they again, it's just amazing how the dummies come here who are sound asleep, but then always come up with the same things. Why would they do this? Just so they can be figured out? Well, I don't think that's why they do it. They do it because it's Kabbalah. Again, they believe this is how God operates, so they're playing God. And then I think they also do it to kind of, they're thumbing their nose at you. Like you're some kind of fucking retard. Which, sadly, most of America is. Not the people in this community, but most people in this nation are absolutely retarded in the sense of the word. Stunted. Dumb, Useful idiots. How can you still be voting in elections? Or were you not alive in 2000? You didn't see what happened in 2000? Right, let me remind you. Yale 43, Florida 43. What happened there? Oh yeah, we got number 43 in an election that came down to Florida where his brother was the 43rd governor and his daddy was the 43rd vice president. They were both part of Yale Skull and Bones. And what are the letters in D.C.? D4, C3, They call it the Masonic City 43. You see how Masonics 115 and 43? Again, Masons and Jesuits. What happened yesterday on the 115th day of the year, 43 weeks after Elon Musk's birthday? He buys Twitter, which has the same gematria as Masonic, And again, Donald Trump, he announced he was running for the 58th presidential election from the 58-story Trump Tower, Freemasonry, secret society, D.C., the Masonic City, D.C. on the 77th Meridian West. Again, you can go on all day. So rather than do that, got to get back to business, inching away from finishing the book. And again, thank you to everyone who like the video, shares the video. And yeah, until next time, Truth Seeker, have a great day.